This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Al Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and good afternoon to everyone tuning into us right now. I hope you're all having a blessed and productive afternoon. We're starting to get the hang of fasting this Ramadan, and coffee has finally, I think, exited our system peacefully. But you're listening to Future Talk. This is the one and only place where we give you a quick roundup of everything that is happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and around the world. Big news is happening right here in the heart of Sharjah as we talk about Sharjah Police launching the Complete Your Transaction from Your Vehicle service. Car registration has never been any easier.
Yes, indeed. And we're also talking about WhatsApp Status Flaw, which will allow stalkers to track users online. Now, WhatsApp, once again, under the radar and under attack from a lot of critics because of their privacy policies and, let's say, their security in general.
Yes, indeed. I have a question for you, Hani. Have you ever had to deal with your phone being dropped in water?
No.
Never? Never? You never tried that soak it in rice?
No, nothing.
Tip.
I've seen it, but I've never dropped my phone in water.
Well, if anyone tuning into us right now has dropped their phone in water and has basically ran to the pantry to grab a bag of rice so they can soak their phone in it, we're going to be giving you a quick how-to guide on what to do if your phone ever struggles with water damage. A lot of phones can be marketed as waterproof, but in reality, they're only water resistant. So if they're dropped in water for a long period of time, you can say bye-bye to your phone.
Yes, and we're also talking about Instagram and how they're testing a feature that will let users choose if they want to see likes.
Yes, indeed. But also today, all about apps. We're talking about Google Earth adding a time-lapse video so that it can actually depict climate change impact on our beloved Mother Earth. The video that I've seen on social media platforms has been crazy. You can definitely see the damage with your own eyes.
I think that is amazing. Well, I'm really excited to get into the story today, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about Sharjah Police.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
The Sharjah Police, in cooperation with Tasjeel, have launched the Complete Your Transaction from Your Vehicle, which is a new service that is added to the rest of the various services it does provide to its customers in Tasjeel. Now, we do know that digital payments, especially across government sectors, is booming in the past couple of months, especially towards the mid-2020, because obviously, because of the pandemic, we want to reduce social distancing. We want to reduce crowds at public sectors and private sectors. So what did we do? Or not we, or what did the government do? They started making or implementing paying online. So now we're looking at an initiative called Pay From Your Vehicle. Now, we do know that this new service is part of the Sharjah municipality's constant endeavor to facilitate the customer's transaction as part of the precautionary and preventive measures in place to reduce the spread of the pandemic.
Yes, indeed. Car registration has never been any easier, and it's done very easily right here in the heart of Sharjah. Now, as you've mentioned, Hani, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen governmental services try to reduce crowds that are usually done and that usually take place at stations or places like car registration, Tasjeel, Tasheel, you name it. These can all get pretty crowded as people try and finish up all of their paperwork. But now this can all be done online and from the comfort of your own car. So the department at Sharjah Police have actually been seeking to enhance customer satisfaction and happiness. They're trying to add more quality to their services and trying to give them to their customers at the best standards so that they can save their time and their effort. Now, the Ministry of Interior strategy, just like we've mentioned, it's all about ease, and this is exactly what the new service will be able to do, because customers can now license their car without having to get out of the vehicle or even wait at the waiting lounge.
Yes, indeed. Now, we're looking at the new service, how it could be it has actually entered the trial phase since the end of last February, during which 3,000 transactions had been completed. And again, this actually is mainly for the work efficiency and speed, especially in light of the coronavirus pandemic. And I'm looking at a win-win situation that does make it easier for the employees and the consumer and the customer to make the transaction, and it is safer because we are reducing the spread of the pandemic, and not spread of the pandemic, spread of transmitting the virus, because obviously we are reducing person-to-person interaction.
Absolutely. Let us know what governmental service right here in the heart of Sharjah have you found that has become a lot easier ever since the pandemic has started. I think one of the best ones that have also been launched pretty recently has been finishing up all of the movement of your
Yes.
house. So if you're moving from one house to the other, this can all be now done online, moving your lease. Let us know your thoughts. Our text lines are open, 4215, do it to Salat, or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Coming up, we're talking about a big flaw that WhatsApp has been causing to a lot of users. Many users have actually been having to deal with stalkers, tracking these users' locations online simply by looking at their status. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
How many times have you added a very innocent picture or video to your status on WhatsApp, only to find out that now this has become a brand new way that hackers can actually be able to stalk you through? Because there's a brand new alert and a security flaw in WhatsApp that could potentially allow third parties to cyber stalk users using the online status feature.
Yes, now according to NDTV, which is a cybersecurity firm, Traced has discovered several iPhone and Android apps as well as some services that can tell cyber stalkers when a user is active on WhatsApp. Now, these services can actually be used by third parties to monitor user status even without their consent. Now, thankfully, I do not use WhatsApp statuses. I don't post anything on my WhatsApp stories either, so I am safe from that. But you can actually enter any mobile number, and if that person does use WhatsApp, the status tracker will provide the exact date and time that person has opened WhatsApp. So it was actually revealing that though these apps are usually marketed as a way for users to know when their contacts come online, it's actually routinely misused by cyber criminals to stalk them.
Yes, indeed. And what's actually very annoying about this flaw is you can't do much about it, because unlike other features, WhatsApp does not offer a way to disable the feature that automatically shows if a user is online or not. But what's interesting is that you can just go ahead and stop posting on your status for a while, at least until WhatsApp offers us a fix for it. Now, some WhatsApp online status trackers are also found to allow users to enter the phone number of two individuals, which would actually help to presume whether both users are chatting with each other on the app at a particular time.
Oh, wow. That is a big one. That is super stalking. Now, thankfully, I hope no one's done that to me. Now, I do have my last scene turned off.
Yes.
But you do know, I mean, it does show when I'm online. I want to know how WhatsApp is actually going to counter this or combat this. Will they start removing the online status? Will they not? I mean, it's very important because some people, they wait till someone is online, right? How am I know if... I mean, it's a hard one. It is a hard one.
It is.
So I guess we just have to wait and see what WhatsApp will have as a fix for this, because obviously this is unacceptable. And I kind of don't believe that this is WhatsApp's fault. I mean, it is provided. It's like saying, honey, don't go home and turn on your lights, right?
True.
Because if you pass by my house, you'll see the lights on.
Exactly. And something similar was happening whenever WhatsApp had that last seen feature. For many people have actually turned it off, but you can go ahead and turn it on. So with WhatsApp, whenever the last time you logged in would usually be there. It would show that, like, last seen Hani at 8:40 p.m., let's say.
Yeah.
And what WhatsApp did was actually disable it, because a lot of people were abusing it and being abused by it. So many people were actually many fights have been started through this feature because,
people don't reply to text,
yeah,
for
like
example.
you were last seen at this moment and you weren't replying. Why weren't you replying yet? So they decided to go ahead and remove it just so that they can stop such stalking attacks and stop such issues. They've also recently banned the WhatsApp accounts that are associated with certain websites that can go ahead and allow you to hack into someone's WhatsApp. They've removed these apps from the Play Store as well as the Google App Store. And now they're also working on a brand new terms of service and conditions that will help take action to protect the privacy of their users and help prevent abuse. This is a huge issue because millions of people around the globe use WhatsApp. I mean, right here in the UAE alone, I don't know of anyone who uses iMessage or any other form of messaging platform apart from WhatsApp.
Yeah, I mean, in the US and the UK, a lot of people use iMessage because it is connected to their FaceTime.
Yeah.
So it's just everything at
It's
one
easier.
place, one place only. Yeah, and I do believe if FaceTime was actually. I don't believe it, because WhatsApp's community is much better. I like WhatsApp more. You have all your groups. And I do think WhatsApp is a big competitor against iMessage, but I do believe at the same time WhatsApp is the better competitor. The layout, the UI, everything is much better with WhatsApp in comparison to a lot of other apps. I mean, what is the competition? iMessage with grouping, it's not the best.
Yeah.
With Telegram, maybe, but WhatsApp has perfected it.
Yeah, the popularity of it alone, can allow it to survive no matter what flaws rise from it. Let us know your thoughts. Our text lines are open 4215 do it to select or slide it into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. But coming up, we're talking all about what you can do if you've ever dropped your phone in water. Soaking it in rice is not the best option. Come to find out. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
How do you tech? How do you tech?
Now, we do know that many smartphones are advertised as water resistant, but that does not mean that they're actually immune from water damage. Now, we do know the old trick in the book. If your phone is wet, if you got it wet, if it was got stuck in the pool, some people actually dropped it in the toilet.
Yes.
So what was the number one thing to do? Put it in a bowl of rice. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have something better for you.
Yes, indeed. So putting it in a bowl of rice, many people say it helps. I've seen it actually help others. I've seen many tricks like using a blow dryer on your phone, but don't always do that because you can actually melt your phone. Certain parts of your phone will melt and your phone will no longer be used by. But a lot of people have actually been wondering, why do some smartphone industries advertise certain phones as water resistant or waterproof, when in reality, if you were to go ahead and drop it in a pool or just like you mentioned, Danny, in the toilet, it will not survive. So whenever we say a phone is water resistant, there comes an IP rating with it. So it's like the way you measure how much the phone can protect itself against certain liquids. And this rating comes in two numbers. So there's a number that has to do with water and liquids, and then another number that has to do with the dust and small particles that can also impact the phone. So a phone that has a rating or a protection of 6, that would mean a full protection from dust, dirt, and sand. But if it has a liquid protection of 8, that means you can go ahead and safely drop it in water for a depth of more than 1 meter. But many people are not, or many smartphone industries are actually not specifying this. So, for example, the popular iPhone 12 and Samsung Galaxy S21 phone, they both have an IP rating of 6 and 8. Yet, when you go ahead and expose it to water, the iPhone 12 will only allow you to, by mistake, let's say, drop your phone at a maximum of 6 meters for only 30 minutes. Yet the Galaxy S21 phone will allow you to drop it for 1.5 meters, also for only 30 minutes, and any time after that, your phone might be damaged.
Now, we do know that phone manufacturers do carry out their IP testing in fresh water, and Apple does recommend devices not to be submerged in liquids of any kind. Now, luckily, we do know that water-resistant phones are generally able to survive smaller liquid volumes, such as a form of a glass tipping over, like glass of water tipping on your phone. Obviously, your phone will survive, but if you do have exposure to water, actually I see this test a lot on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think one guy put an iPhone 12 underwater in a pool, and I think it was like 7 minutes, and the phone stopped working.
No way.
7
so not
minutes.
even 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the type of water. Again, there's chemicals in pool water.
Yes.
And again, Apple did state that they used fresh water, which is different than pool chemical water.
Yes, indeed. Now, the myth of putting it in a bowl of rice does not work, so please don't try it out. The easy thing to do is to first turn off your device immediately. Don't try pressing any buttons to see if it works, because this will only make matters worse. Now, if your phone is water resistant and you went ahead and submerged it in a liquid other than water, both Apple and Samsung do recommend that you actually rinse off the phone that was submerged, let's say, in juice, by going ahead and putting it under still tap water. So not running water, not running tap water, but just a bowl of water, or honestly just wipe it down with wipes. Then go ahead and wipe the phone dry with a paper towel or a soft cloth. Gently shake the device so that you can remove any water that is found in the charging ports, because I think that's the worst part of it. not being able to even charge it.
Now, what I did, or what I saw, or what I would do actually, if my phone got water on it, is I would use a blow dryer, right? Think on a low
setting
and make it cool instead of heat. 'Cause you don't want to heat it; you just want to cool it. You want to make it dry, and I mean, you can dry it off if it's cold air.
True. I think cold air setting is the best thing to do because a lot of scientists have actually been saying to avoid using a hot blow dryer because the heat can actually ruin
because
the rubber seals.
Yeah, the rubber seals or the adhesives behind the screen.
Yeah.
You can melt them and they can just be easily taken off, so you don't want that. But I want to ask the listeners, right? If they ever had their phone dropped in water or dropped in the toilet, and what did they do to fix it? Actually, I had a friend who dropped his phone in the toilet.
No way.
Yeah, and you have to get a new phone. Yeah, 4215, do it Salat, or Instagram at Pulse95 Radio.
Another quick tip before we leave you on with your wet phone. An easy tip to do instead of soaking it in a bowl of rice is to simply get, the packets that you find in like new shoes or new bags that you just throw it away, the small white packets.
Yes.
Go ahead and save those up because if you ever drop your phone in a bottle, in a liquid or in a water or whatever, you can simply leave the phone in an airtight container with all those packets and they will help absorb the moisture, which I think is just genius. So this way, it's just easy to do. They're found everywhere and much more safer than using rice. Let us know or share with us any stories that you've had with dropping your phone in water. I know on our Instagram, a lot of people have actually been saying that they have before dropped their phone in water, and some of them have even used the good old trick of rice. Coming up on the show, we still have lots to share with you. We're going to be talking about Instagram testing whether or not it would be a good idea to remove users' ability to see the like button.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. It is that time of the day when we tell you all about our very own version of Fawazir Ramadan, and you can actually get a chance to win 500 dirhams if you simply send the right answer to Evening Karak. That is actually live every weekday from 8 to 10 p.m. They keep you company and you can actually sip on your hot cup of karak because you broke your fast.
Yes, indeed. And they will be announcing the winners at 9:30 p.m. every day on the weekdays, obviously. But the riddle question for today is, when you use me, I leave traces. Knock me in, but my head is always out. Who am I? 4215, do a slot. You do need to text in your answers to have a chance to win 500 dirhams. You guys got 7 hours.
Yes, indeed. And I must say, today was actually the first day that the minute I read the riddle, I can think of an answer. And I'm going to give Future Talkers or people who are tuning in on Future Talk a little sneak peek. I think it has to do a lot with hammers.
Hammers.
Yeah. So a hammer's best buddy, I think, is the right answer. But I could be wrong.
Nails.
I could be wrong.
Nails.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's
but
a hammer.
No, a hammer's best buddy. I didn't want to say.
Okay.
Is the right. I think. I could be wrong. We don't know what the right answer is, but send in your guesses anytime before 9:30 p.m. at 4215 Dur Ittisalat, and you might just be the lucky winner of 500 dirhams. The duo Aisha Mazmi and Mikirati will announce who the winner is. But enough with Fawazir. Let's go back to Future Talk because we do have lots and lots to share with you on what is happening in the tech world. And today's discussion is all about Instagram.
Yes, Instagram is actually testing a feature that does let users choose if they want to see likes. Now, this isn't the best picture to have on Future Talk right now because I'm very hungry and I'm looking at it.
It's a picture of ice cream.
Ice cream cake. Ice cream, and on top of it, there's a cake. So it's not very nice for me. But Instagram is actually testing out a feature that would let users decide if they want to hide likes on their own posts or posts from people they follow. Now, that option will start with a small global test group on Wednesday. And Instagrammers can also decide to keep the original experience, which does include those visible likes. Now, this is something I like. Let it be a choice for people. Do you want to see likes or you don't want to see likes?
Yeah.
I mean, up to the user. Why should everything be kind of
pre-decided for them?
I don't want to see likes. I don't want people to see how much likes I got on my pictures.
I agree. And I think what I think is nice about this is it lessens also the comparison. So people on the outside of the Instagram page don't get to judge this person has more likes on this photo than this person on a very similar photo. And Instagram actually began testing the hiding the like feature, or the option to hide your likes, back in 2019. They tested it first in Canada, and then they tested it globally around the world, and followers could not see the total number of likes that a certain post received, and the owner of the account could. Now, what I think is nice about this is that it helps people lessen the comparison, just like I mentioned, but it also allows viewers of the post to see all the photos without necessarily discriminating between any of them. Since many people who would, like, let's say, choose to give a certain brand deal or a certain sponsorship to a specific, let's say, influencer, they would look at how much did a similar product gain likes on their feed.
Yes, now I do believe that some people they kind of get jealous.
Yeah.
Now, people who do want to use Instagram influencers as a market platform to market their own products, well, they do want to look at the likes and the interaction between Instagram
themselves,
users. Yes.
yeah.
Now, a counterattack to this was actually that you can request the portfolio from the Instagram user, and he or she can send you that, hey, I get this X amount of numbers, X amount of reach to a number of people, and that could be fixed. Now, I mean, I like it, but I don't feel like we should be kind of forced to hide our own likes.
I agree, and I see where you're coming from. I think the reason behind Instagram's action with this is to try and lessen the pressure on every influencer, since a lot of people have actually been going through many mental issues due to the hearts on an Instagram post. And we can't deny it, you know. The more hearts you get on a photo or a post, the more self-validation you get, which should not be the case. Your worth should not be tied to how many likes you get on a certain picture. So the likes that appear as hearts on Instagram have definitely been a key metric to create engagement on a platform, but they've also been a key metric to decide what is a person's self-esteem, which is exactly what Instagram is trying to work on. They briefly did hide likes. The platform, they did hide likes back in March from some of their users after the company accidentally went ahead and expanded a long-running test of the feature. So as a result of the accident, many Instagram users were reporting that they did see the change on their profile, and they actually liked not being able to see how many likes they had on a photo.
I mean, again, each to their own, but I do want to ask the audience, though, 4215, do it slot or Instagram at Pulse95 Radio.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that likes should be hidden, mandatory, like everyone should have their likes automatically unseen?
Yeah.
Or should the user have the option to hide their own likes?
Share your thoughts with us, but coming up on the show, we're talking all about Google Earth, allowing us to see the impact of climate change in front of our very own eyes. They're launching a time-lapse video, and we're going to be telling you all about it.
Check this out. Check this out.
Google Maps and Google Earth, we use them whenever we want to lead our way through the streets of the UAE. But what if I told you now we can actually see the impact of climate change on Google Earth, because they have added a time-lapse video that has gone viral. And to be honest, Hani, I've always known that global change, climate change is a big issue.
Yeah, global warming.
Global warming, but seeing it on the time lapse, seeing how fast of a change it is, and what Earth once was and what it become, and even just the UAE, what the UAE once looked like and what it looks like today, it's mind blowing, because you just see how much ignorance we've all been living in, thinking that Earth will always be there. It's one thing that we can take for granted.
I mean, 100%. Now, Google Earth actually did tweet on their account how they're unveiling a new dimension to Google Earth. And this time they did launch it with NASA and the EU Commission in a time lapse. And Google Earth actually does provide a better understanding of Earth's dynamic change. Now, I did watch the video on Twitter, and even did kind of have a time lapse of the UAE and how it was changing, especially of the Emirate of Dubai, because we do know that Dubai in the 30 years, it did expand into a metropolitan city. So it was just showing how in the recent years things have been changing. And I do believe that having this option to the public and letting the public see for themselves and not having this information only to researchers and scientists will give the people a bigger picture on how climate change and global warming is actually real and here.
Absolutely, because a lot of the times we talk about climate change and it's so abstract in our minds. There's nothing concrete, there's nothing right in front of our eyes for us to see how big of an impact it has. And this is exactly what Google Earth and Google was able to accomplish with their project. According to Google, this is the biggest update they've done to Google Earth in the past 5 years, and many people have been very astonished by it. But this is not the first time a time-lapse satellite image has been used to show how parts of the world are changing before our eyes because of global warming. Earlier this year, we've actually seen a lot of images of melting glaciers that were widely available on Google Earth, the application. They've been downloaded. More than 3 billion smartphones actually have this image downloaded on the device, and Google is promising that people will be able to see a presentation of just about anywhere they want to search. So they're trying to highlight 800 places on the planet in both 2D and 3D formats so that we can get well educated about the issue of global warming and climate change and hopefully be able to solve it.
Yeah, now those videos will actually be available on Google's YouTube video site, which is a service more widely used than the Earth app. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Last time I used Google Earth, I downloaded it on my computer, not even laptop, computer.
Same.
It was all the way back in 2007, 2008, 2009, when it was just fun going around the world in Google Earth. Now, the feature was created from 24 million satellite images taken every year from 1984 all the way to 2020 and provided by NASA. Now, the time-lapse technology was created with the help of the Carnegie Mellon University. Now, Google does plan to update the time-lapse imagery at least once a year. So we'll be saying from now until whatever they want to continue it, an update every year. So next year we'll have 2021, the year after that 2022, etc. Let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215, do us select our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Do you think global warming is real? Some people don't believe it's real. Some people
Sadly.
believe it's real. Let us know your guys' thoughts. But ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to give you one more time the Ramadan Fawazir.
Yes, the Ramadan riddles that are currently taking place every single day, every single weekday with Evening Karak from 8 to 10 p.m. If you answer this question right, you'll get a chance to win 500 dirhams. We've already been getting texts on our text lines 4215 Dur Ittisalat. And the question is,
when you use me, I leave traces. Knock me in, but my head is always out. Who am I?
we've been getting very interesting answers. I'm not going to give any tips anymore. But we'll say it once again if you kind of missed it. When you use me, I leave traces. Knock me in, but my head is always out. What am I? If you go ahead and answer this question anytime before 9:30 p.m., you get a chance to win 500 dirhams. And these riddles have been ongoing. We've had a riddle on Thursday that was, we can hurt you without touching, we can help you without moving, you need us every day, you use us in different ways, and the answer was actually words.
Yes.
So
It's not as complicated as
Yeah.
you think it is. It's a riddle at the end of the day. So it should have an easy or quick answer, but you do have to use your brain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Future Talk for today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, only here on Pulse
95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.